Shalom lekulam. Boker tov and Chag Sameach to everybody.
What's the date?
I'm going to ask all of our participants to please stay on mute. But we're so happy to have so many of our KBA family and special friends here. For those of you who this is round 2 of Seders, God bless you. You're going to get 2 Seders coming up this week, so you'll have counted at 4. That's quite impressive. We also have some of our Better Together participants. Some of the residents at Lionsgate are joining us also for our Zoom Seder. So we're so excited to be able to have you with us as well. And of course, our fabulous students. Kita Dalet, do you want to unmute to give a shout out and wish everybody a Chag Sameach? I see they're getting ready. Kita Dalet, do you want to unmute to say hello?
I'm trying.
Here they are. Shalom, Kita Dalet. And what about Kita Hey? Kita Hey, can we hear from you? There we go. There we go. Yofi kol hakavod to Kita Hey. We love getting to see you. How about Kita Vav? Let's bring that amazing middle school energy. Kita Vav, can you unmute and wish everybody a Chag Sameach? Go ahead. There they are. Yofi kol hakavod, Kita Vav. And what about Kita Zayin and Kita Bet? Can we unmute together in 8th grade so we can hear from you? There we go. Wonderful. I love it. Ms. Civic, do you think we can pin our students? We can spotlight them? Fabulous. All right. So we are going to get started with our Zoom Seder. And you know what? We didn't think that we would necessarily be in this position again this year. But you know, we can sort of answer that Manish Tana question. Tonight definitely feels a little bit different. But you know what? Pesach is all about looking towards the future and seeing the silver linings. And you know, we talk about that a lot here at Kalman Brown Academy, about finding all those opportunities for joy and for gratitude. And the fact that we can have so many people be able to be together to share this happy time feels very much like a silver lining. And getting to see grandparents and grandchildren get to be together is pretty special. So we're going to begin our Seder by lighting the candles, right? Because that helps bring light and joy into what we do. And as I light, I'm going to ask you to do the motions with me. Our students, you should hopefully have your second mask with you. So if you want to be singing, you can just put that second mask on and sing along with me. So here we go. And we'll join together, not the bracha for Shabbat, but we're going to say the bracha for Yom Tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner, shel Yom Tov. And if you are next to somebody who you love, or if you see somebody you love, send out some virtual hugs and smushes, because we're going to say Shehecheyanu together. Please stay on mute, but feel free to sing along with me. This very much feels like a Shehecheyanu moment. Thank you, God, for bringing us to this opportunity to be together in whatever form it may look like, but allowing us to be here and celebrating. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'hiyanu l'zman hazeh. Amen. And big Shechianus and excitement to begin our Seder together. So the Pesach Seder is not just one thing, right? It reminds us of lots of different aspects of the holiday. And so much so that we have 4 different names for that holiday. Keep that Mismar Arba in mind, right? Because that's the number we see over and over and over again. It reminds us the holiday is Chag HaMatzot, right? Reminds us of that yummy, delicious matzah that we eat. It's also Chag HaAviv. See, that's matzah reminds us of spring. It's Chag HaPesach, obviously, where God passed over. And it's also Chag HaChevut, right? That it reminds us about the freedom. So each one of those shows up in different aspects of our Seder and reminds us of the different pieces and the different things that we want to be celebrating in this moment. I'm going to turn it now over to our 8th graders in just a minute. Now, if we were sort of, back in the good old days, I guess, a couple years ago, our 8th graders would be getting to lead the Seder. We'd all be sitting in the gym together, and they would be walking us through all the different aspects of the Seder. But again, we sort of continue to adapt and find opportunities to continue finding meaning in what we're doing, but even if it looks a little different. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to hear from our 3 8th graders a little bit about some of those different aspects of the Seder. So I'm going to call on Joseph first, and then Leilani, and then Lev to be able to teach us a little bit about the Seder, and then also share some of their personal reflections about being in 8th grade and celebrating a KBA Seder with us. All right, so Joseph, you're up first.
All right. Every year on Passover, we gather to remember the Exodus and being freed. The real question to this celebration is, what are we actually being freed from? If the Jewish people were freed from Egypt as slaves to Pharaoh, but were soon after ordered to be slaves to God and follow his orders, can it really be called freedom? It's an extremely important question to ask at this time, because the answer helps show how important it is to thank God and remember the Exodus. The freedom we were given was not the freedom to do anything we want, but rather we were given the freedom to choose who we serve as a people. We were given the choice to serve a human master or serve the divine. We also were granted the freedom to accept, ignore, or reject this idea of freedom to choose our master. We should be grateful and thank God for allowing us to choose to and commit to God's commandments. This Seder is my 9th and final Seder I will be attending at KVA. Ever since kindergarten, I would imagine what it would be like to be at the same place in the next grade all the way up until 8th. After all those years of wondering, I can finally sit here and experience it firsthand, whether or not it's exactly how I first imagined it. I'm glad I was able to experience all the previous Seders as well as this year's at Kelman. Everyone here today should remember being here this year, so you can always think back to remember it in the future.
Yasher Koach, Yosef. Feel free as we go through to use that chat function and just shout out your love for the people that you see. And a big Yasher Koach to Joseph for starting it off and sharing with us what really is the meaning of this holiday together. We're going to turn it now to Leilani, who's going to teach us a little bit about chametz and matzah.
On Passover, we are supposed to eat matzah and not eat chametz. But what is the difference between these two things? Matzah and chametz are actually very similar to each other. They are both made from the same ingredients, flour mixed with water. The only difference between them is that matzah has to be cooked in under 18 minutes, and chametz is done after 18 minutes. The word matzah and chametz in Hebrew are also very similar. They both have a mem and a tzadik, but the difference is matzah has a hay and chametz has a chut. This means that the biggest mitzvah of Passover comes down to the smallest details. That is a pretty important lesson for life as well. I think that a Seder is pretty cool and makes me happy because there are a lot of fun things to do. Even though I have never been to an actual Seder before, I think that I can be a part of different things that happen in a Seder.
Yasher Koach to Leilani, Kol HaKavod, and thank you so much for sharing your beautiful reflections with us. And since Leilani has really only been with us for the past 2 years, she doesn't really know what those gym Seders look like, but I hope you all agree that, sometimes it's okay to make a substitution, and this is good too. So Leilani, thank you for sharing your beautiful words with us. All right, we're going to turn it over now to Lev, who's going to teach us about a very strange word, but also a very important concept for this year.
Okay. Many people, such as myself, have trouble remembering the order of the blessings said at the Seder. This is especially true when the Seder falls on Saturday night, which occurs this year. and we need to include not only the blessings over wine, but also the blessings for Havdalah. Because of this, the problem, the rabbis created an acronym to help people remember the order of the blessings, Yaknahaz, which stands for Yayin, Kiddush, Ner, Havdalah, and Zman, which reminds us to say the Shehecheyanu. Because of COVID-19, all the Seders that I've participated in throughout my 3 years here at KBA have been very different. The first one was like a normal Seder here, led by the 8th grade, but last year was very different because it had to be on Zoom. This year's Seder is still very different because of things like masks, social distancing, and the fact that the 8th grade will not be leading it. Even though overall it is closer to a real Seder than last year, there will hopefully be a normal one next year.
From your mouth to God's ears, Lev. We hope so too. And Lev, thank you so much for teaching us about the special thing about this year's Seder, which we'll get to in just a bit. So let's give a big Yasher Kolach, Kol HaKavod to Kita Chet for sharing with us not only your Torah, but also the meaning of this Seder for each one of you. We very much appreciate you and the leadership roles that you take here in our school. Not only limited to the fact that all three of you are our Student Council KBA presidents. So, kol hakavod, and thank you for the dugma that you set for each of us. All right, so it's time to get started with this whole Seder thing, guys. Let's get started. So for our family members who are joining us, perhaps you've heard about this already. Our students in Gan through 8th grade had an opportunity to participate in a STEM project where the students got to learn how to animate. They used clay, and we broke up the Haggadah into different pieces so that every class got to animate a different section of the Haggadah. So over the course of our Seder together, you're going to get to see all the different animations that our students made. So we're going to begin with first Kita Hey explaining to us a little bit about the Seder plate itself. And then we're going to get to hear from Kita Aleph to teach us a little bit about the Simanei HaSeder. How do we make sure we keep that Seder Beseder? So here we go, everybody. To Kita Hey and to Kita Aleph for keeping us in order and making sure that we do all the right parts of the Seder. Well, the very first thing that we've got to do is I hear you guys saying it with me, Kiddush, Nachon. But as Lev told us, this year is a little bit more complicated because the Seder is starting on Saturday night, which means that not only do we have to do all of our Pesach stuff, but we also have to do Havdalah. So you're going to hear in a minute from Kita Chet. They're going to sing for us the Kiddush. Spoiler alert, it's kind of long because it's a very long Kiddush. We've got 4 different brachot to say. The bracha over the wine, the bracha over the day, which you'll hear about later from Kita Vav, the bracha over Havdalah, and of course, a bracha for Shehecheyanu. So here's what I'd like you to do as you're listening along, okay? Try to do the hand motion for each one of the different things. So when you hear the Kiddush, pretend like you're drinking, okay? When you hear the Yom, pretend like you're breaking a piece of matzah, okay? Try to listen for the difference. When we get to the Havdalah, do like the Borei Me'orei Ha'esh and try to put your hands up. And then when we get to the Shehecheyanu at the end, give me a good thank you. Hold your hands out as if you're saying Toda Rabah. okay? So we're gonna get a chance now to hear from Kita Chet's entire Kiddush.
Rodinu simcha, chagim uzmanim usason. Et yom chag matzot hazeh. Chayatinim, Ikre Kodesh, Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu Chagta, V'yatanu Kedoshim Mikol Hamim. Modei Kitchacha, Zimcha Sason, Hinu Kaltanu. Baruch Adonai, Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei ha'esh. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil bein nefesh hachol, bein ur l'choshech, bein Yisrael v'Amim. Yom Shvi Shemayaseh, bein Kadosh Shabbat, Shatanu, Yotanu. Yom Shvi Shemayaseh, Yudalta, Yudashta, Et Yom Yisrael, Yudalta. Baruch Adonai, Yom Ben Kodesh, L'Kodesh.
Here we go, the end.
Baruch
Shaltianu.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו בזמן.
Whew! Kol hakavod. Oh my goodness. Kol hakavod to Kita Chet for a beautiful Kiddush. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right. So after Kadesh, we're going to move right along. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my screen with you guys in just a minute once my computer decides to wake up. There we go. All right. Sorry, everybody. My computer decided to fall asleep a little bit. Okay. Okay, because I'm sharing my screen, that's why. All right, now we're good. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen again. This time I'll realize that I'm doing it. Because we're gonna move on past Kadesh, and we're gonna go right to our next thing. So we did Simanei HaSeder, we did Kadesh, now we're doing Orchat. So pretend along with me, let's wash those hands. We do this one without a bracha. Moving right along, we take our karpas, which reminds us of springtime, and we dip it in the mei melech and the salt water to remind us that even though the Jewish people cried at the very beginning, they ended up becoming free and things ended up turning out good and right for them. And now we get to Yachat. So Yachat, I'm going to take my matzot, and we always make sure that we have 3 matzot with us, one for Kohen, one for Levi, one for Yisrael, or one for Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And we take our middle matzah and we break it in half, okay? Now I'm gonna keep this middle matzah out with me, okay? Because we're gonna need this at the very end of our Seder. So I'm just gonna put this over here in a very safe and secure place and hope that nothing happens to it later on. All right, we're getting now to sort of the heart of the Pesach Seder. And for those of you who have been in my class before, you know that this is a very important quote to me. So let's read together. My mother made me a scientist without ever intending to. Every other Jewish mother in Brooklyn would ask her child after school, so did you learn anything today? But not my mother. Izzy, she would say, did you ask a good question today? That difference, asking good questions made me become a scientist. That was by Isidore Isaac Rabi, the Nobel laureate. So we have to remember that the Passover Seder is all about asking and wondering and thinking. And yes, we've got our traditional questions that we always ask, but the Seder is always a great opportunity to ask new things or to say, I never thought about that before, and I'm wondering. So as we go through the Seder, feel free to put some of those questions into the chat so that we can all sort of think about what are those good questions that we're asking about today. All right, well, now we've got to move on to the actual Manishtana. And this, we're going to go back to our animated Haggadah, and we're going to get to hear from Kita, Bet, and Gimel, and Dalet, and Hey, who are going to ask each of the 4 different questions. Yeladim, I'm going to ask if you'd like to put your second mask on. You should stay on mute, but you can sing along with us as we sing the 4 questions, the Manishtana. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see this part. I'm going to let Kita Zayin know you're next to share the Arbat Habanim. Sorry, everybody. And we're back. Okay, so let's give a big kol hakavod to Kita Bet, Kita Gimel, especially Kita Dalet and Kita Hey for making such a beautiful piece that they did. Kol hakavod. Those are some excellent questions and some really fun animations that you did. We're now going to hear from Kita Zayin, who not only made an animation for the Arbat Habanim, but who are also going to get a chance to sing. So Kita Zayin, we're going to play your animation first, and then we're going to spotlight you to get to hear the song that you're going to sing for us. All right, little repeat. Here we go.
חכם הוא אומר, מה העדות והחוקים והמשפטים אשר ציווה אדוני אלוהינו אתכם, ואהבת האמור לו כהלכות הפסח, אין מפטירין אחר הפסח אפיקומן.
רשע, מה הוא אומר? מה העבודה הזאת לכם ולא לו? ולפי שהוציא את עצמו מן הכלל, כפר בעיקר, ואף אתה הכה את שיניו, ואמור לו, בעבור זה עשה אדוני לי, בצאתי ממצרים לי ולא לו, אילו היה שם ולא היה נגאל. תם, מה הוא אומר? מה זאת? ואמרת אליו, בחוזק יד הוציאנו אדוני ממצרים מבית עבדים.
ושאינו יודע לשאול את אתה לו, שנאמר והגעת לבנך ביום ההוא לאמור, בעבור זה עשה אדוני לי, בצאתי ממצרים.
Kol hakavod to Kita Zayin, right? We know how important it is to value each and every child. Moraleya loves to teach, Chanoch lena'ar al pi darko. So we need to teach every child in their own way. And so now we're going to get a chance to hear from Kita Zayin to share with us a little bit more about these very important children.
She's going to use her camera. Is that what? Right? She's going to use her camera. So use that camera.
Okay. The song that we are going to sing about, the four children, is from the Haggadah. Naomi Shemer wrote a version of this song in modern times. The smart one, the evil one, the simple one, and the one who does not know how to act. All of them are actually the same child. Sometimes we are smart, sometimes we are evil, sometimes we are simple, and sometimes we do not know how to act. From this we learn that we have to accept everybody and be nice to others because we are all of that too sometimes. We wish you all a happy holiday and a great week.
ביום בהיר ונהדר, יצאו מתוך ההגדה, חכם ותם רשע גדול, וזה שלא ידע לשאול. חכם ותם רשע גדול, וזה שלא ידע לשאול. וכשארבעת האחים יצאו לנוע בדרכים, מיד מכל ארבע רוחות, פרחים הגיעו וברכות. פגש חכם וחכמה, אהבתם את התמימה, והרשע בתור אישה, תפש מרשעת האומה, וזה שלא ידע לשאול, לקח את היפה מכל, שלביא אותו בתוך ידיו, וחזר איתה להגדה. לאן הובילו הדרכים, היכן ארבעת האחים, בשיר שלנו ידידיי, אסור לשאול יותר מדי. בשיר שלנו ידידיי, אסור לשאול יותר מדי.
Kol hakavod, Kita Zayin, yafe me'od. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for teaching us all about the Arbat HaBanim and how you're right, there's a little piece of each one of us, sometimes in every single one of us. You'll get a chance to hear more about that later on from Kita Hey. So stay tuned. All right, we're now getting back to our animated Haggadah because at this moment, right, we're thinking about the 10 plagues. We've been talking a lot about Arba, but now we're going to get to 10. And we're thinking about all the things that our people went through to get to this point, right? And Paro wouldn't say yes to let them go until after we had to see these 10 plagues happen. Let me just tell you guys, you're in for a treat, not a treat about the 10 plagues, but the fact, you'll see these, the GAN students made these 10 plagues, and I think you will be blown away by what they're able to accomplish. Remind me too, what do we do with our etzba when we do the 10 plagues? Show me. Nachon, I see you, right? And why do we do that? We do it because even in our happiest times, we can't be completely happy if other people had to suffer because of it. So we always take a little bit out of our cup to remember that, right? And to commemorate this complicated history that we have. So now I'm going to share my screen back with all of you so that we can see the 10 plagues done for you by the GAN. All right, we're going to pause it here. And I'm going to ask for our students now to join on their iPads before we get to our next thing. I'm going to put the code up here so everybody can see it as well. So our students are now going to switch from the screen view to be able to see everybody. You'll be able to see everybody's faces. All right, so now the students are going to come log in, each one from their own iPad. And while we're waiting for all of them to join, the next thing that we're going to be doing together is talking about Dayenu. Okay, we're going to get a chance to see the 6th grade animated Haggadah project who worked on making Dayenu for us. And I'm going to ask everybody to think about what are some of your Dayenus in your life at this moment. What is it that you are thankful to God, thankful and grateful for? Put those in the chat. We'll all have a chance to read them. Now our students will be able to participate as well. I see so many of us coming together. We're going to put that into the chat. What are we grateful for? What are we feeling Dayenu about? And as our students are joining us, we're going to move on to share the Dayenu that the students made. So here we go. Hold on one second, and I will share my screen with you. And if our students still have their second masks on, they should definitely feel encouraged to. And now we're going to hear from, let me pause this for just a minute. I'm going to pause this to remind us that Rabban Gamliel teaches that there are 3 things that you have to talk about. If you don't talk about those 3, it's as if it never happened. And those 3 things are Pesach, Matzah, and Maror. So now we're going to get a chance to hear from Kita Daled, Kita Gimel, and Kita Bet all about those 3 different things.
But remember, we 3 of us don't have earphones in.
Kavod. All right, now we're gonna hear from Keith. Hey. All right, I am almost done with putting our breakout rooms together, but I'm going to turn it over now to Miss Zivik, who didn't know that I was going to call on her. But Miss Zivik is just going to give her thank yous right now while I take another minute just to finish putting people in the rooms that they need to go in.
Okay, Toda Rabba Moreliana. I guess I just want to say that it's such a silver lining to have all of the family members who are on today with us and allow you guys to get a glimpse of all of this special learning that goes on every day. I want to say a big kol hakavod to all of the KBA students who worked really hard on the animated Haggadah project, which was new and so cool this year, and you guys put in a lot of effort. And also just to get ready for today. So kol hakavod to the KBA students. Also a big toda rabba, if everyone could give a huge toda rabba, round of applause to all of the teachers, the special KBA teachers who are so fabulous, and we are so grateful to all of the teachers. And a big yasher koach and toda rabba to Mora Eliana, who is working, always works around the clock to make such special programs that make our school the place that it is. So it's big toda rabba to Mora Eliana. And Mora Eliana, I could keep talking if you needed me to keep talking.
Yes, give me one more minute.
All right. If everybody could if the students could put in the chat something they learned or something they enjoyed by creating the animated Haggadah, I think our special guest would be interested to hear a little bit about that experience. So if the students could type into the chat something cool that they learned or something that they really enjoyed with the animated Haggadah project, I think we'd all love to learn from you guys. Oh, I see Ari liked designing the sets. Tali liked working with everybody. And wow, they're coming in so fast. I'm not going to be able to read them all. I'm so sorry, everybody, but you can all read in the chat. Wow, it looks like everyone really got so much out of this project. That's awesome. From making the clay characters. I know you could all see there were so many details that went into, and they had to think about every second. Maybe if someone could put into the chat for our special guest a little bit more about how a stop motion animation even works. They see Elle talked about, she learned about stop motion animation. Maybe there are grown-ups on right now that don't know what stop motion animation is. So someone could put into.
And I'm going to let that question go unanswered because that was some excellent stalling, Ms. Zivik. But I know you do want to know that answer. Hopefully I put everybody in the right room. If I didn't, I will fix that. And if I see some people still coming in now, I'll hopefully assign you where you need to go. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to send everybody to a breakout room. We're going to have about 15 minutes in the rooms. And what's going to happen is our 4th graders, our 5th graders, and our 6th graders have all prepared something to share. 4th graders are going to teach us, of course, a little bit about gematria. And if you don't know what that is, you haven't been through Mora Ayala's class. Our 5th graders are going to share some of their pictures of the 4 children, and you're going to have to try to guess who's who. And finally, our 6th graders are going to share a play all about Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai and how they got along all the time so beautifully. Spoiler alert, not so much. Okay, so I'm going to send you all to the rooms right now. And if there's a problem, let me know, but otherwise, have fun.
Moreliana, I wasn't sent in it.
That was Jack? Yeah, see?
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone that I miss, so. Let me find you, Jack. And if I miss, oh, Nate, thank you, okay.
Yeah.
If I missed sending anybody, yeah, I tried to do the best I could, but here we go. Can I find you, Jack? Okay, hold on. I'm going to first send Jack where he needs to go, and then I will work on sending our parents to where they need to go as well. Where do I find Jack?
Hi, I need to like get in my car to come get the boys. So I'm
Oh my
switching
goodness,
devices.
you do what you gotta do.
Can you put me back into the 4th grade breakout room? Because I can.
Yeah, do you
I'll have
remember?
it- I can. I can at
Anna,
least
do you
listen
remember
in the
which one
car.
it was?
It's the 4th grade one.
No, it
Shira's
wasn't
running
fourth.
it.
It was, here we go, your room 2. Yes, I can easily send you to room 2, but I don't know if Miss Ivic, you can help me figure out why I can't see the people who are here. They're not showing up in my unassigned list.
So I can assign the
I see-
unassigned.
Here we go.
Can
I
I-
see Jack is there. Why didn't he get? Jack's supposed to be in room 2. All right. David, I'm going to send you to room 1, and then I'm going to move you and see if that works. Did you get that
I
invitation?
can move, Moraliana, I can move him. Where should I move Jack to?
Jack should go in room 2.
Okay.
Oh, you
there
can see it? Here.
Yeah, I can.
Oh my goodness. See that? Oh, thank you. Okay.
And Chip, I can, hold on. Let me see.
And then Nate needs to go into room 3. Where's Nate? You are in room 3. Sometimes these invitations don't go through. All right, Laura, I just moved you to room 2, and then I'm going to move you back to room 3. Are you getting the invitation?
I can.
There you go.
Also, and now Chip should go to wherever Daniel Sananas is.
Daniel was in room 2.
Okay, I can move him. See, but I
see again, some of these not joined. I think they don't get the invitation. I know.
Okay.
I'm going to move Chip to room 1, and now I'm going to go to room 1 and move Chip back to room 2.
Okay, so and where should Nate? Oh, Nate, you got.
And then maybe Maris and Bruce are just not doing it.
I think so. What?
No, I'm here. I just went into the wrong room, I think.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, see, that may have been my fault. Okay, Maris, I'm going to send you to room 1. That's where Sophia is.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on, but I just sent her to room 2 because it's weird, right? That it shows up.
But I could maybe move her. You're trying to send her to who?
I just sent Maris to room 1, so hopefully that's good. And I think I have a teacher in every room. I hope so.
No, Maris is back, so maybe we can try again.
No, Maris needs.
I'm back.
Oh, interesting. No, but you should be in room 1.
I can move her to room 1 or 2.
Maris should be where Sophia is, and Sophia is in room 1.
She's in, but did you get a message, Maris?
Yeah, I got a message for room 2. I went into room 2 and then it pulled me back here.
Huh.
But I want you to go to room 1. Right, but again, you're seeing that, Rachel, right? It says not joined in room 1.
Yeah, why don't we move Maris to room 2 and then pull her back again?
All right, you try that this time.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go into room 1 and just check in on how things are going, okay?
How about 5th grade? We have, so the 5th graders, they each made pictures to represent the 4 sons. And we have Julian. And do we have any other 5th graders in here?
You have Julian, you have
Sophia.
Amy.
Oh,
Sophia.
Amy, there we go. Okay, so who wants to go first to show their 4 sons? Amy, go ahead, sweetheart.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, you should be able to share your
Let me
screen.
stop sharing mine. Okay, go ahead.
It says only the host can do it.
Hold on. I'm going to just make sure that everybody has an opportunity to screen share, okay?
I'm back again.
And what does this stand for?
It's Zora.
I love it. I'm gonna move us on now. Kula kavota kita dalid. I'm gonna move us if we haven't already to have our.
Wait, I'm ready.
We don't have the time, my friends. I'm sorry. We need to move on to fifth grade now. So fifth grade, we're gonna share. You've got about 2 minutes.
I'm ready.
Wait, Laura
Yeah.
Eliana. Joe's been typing it into the screen and didn't get
I'm
to
sorry,
share.
Mrs. Weinstein, but we only have 8 minutes and we need to make sure to give 5 minutes to each class. So Joe can share with us afterwards, but we need to move on right now to our fifth grade. Fifth grade, you're gonna share, and then we need to save 5 minutes for our play for our sixth graders.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Space 5 to 10 400.
We need to move along because we're already getting to be over our time. In fourth grade, we're gonna move on. So we need to have our fifth graders share their pictures because we need to take 5 minutes for our sixth graders as well. I might be able to give you a little more time.
Okay.
I'm seeing that some of us are having trouble sharing our screens. So if our fifth graders can also put their pictures up, that might be a good workaround if you can't share your screen.
Okay, so come on.
I went into Sherry's, Eliana. You're muted.
Thank you. I have the setting here for share screen for multiple participants can share simultaneously. So I'm not quite sure what else to do for that part.
I think you can just give the instruction that they can hold it up. It works really, it works really fine.
Great.
So I was in number 1. I'm going to go in number 2 unless you want me to stay here. It was just...
No, I was just in 2 and 3 too. They were like lagging behind a little bit. Do you know if you can add time to the breakout rooms? Because we're going to come back in 5 minutes and I really don't want to reassign these rooms.
That's a great question. Just keep in mind that it's 12:07.
I know it's 12:07, so we do need to keep moving. Yeah, we need to finish it up anyway. Who knew the time would pass so fast?
Yeah, well, we're having fun.
We're pretty close to the end. Like this is, we're almost there.
I'm looking to name.
All right, I'm gonna go back to room 3. No, I'm gonna go to room 2 to make sure that they're doing okay.
It is very nice to get to celebrate with you as well. Let's promise to make this a lighthearted, peaceful meal. Do you think we can do that, Shamai? No promises, but I'll do my best. Okay, Hillel. And then finishing off by saying but seriously, it is very nice.
All right, no, we're not gonna add more time.
Is because we have a cup of wine to bless. Without the glass of wine, we wouldn't be saying the blessings over Passover. Huh. Hillel makes a good point too. Yayin, yom, yayin. My head is starting to explode. I don't know what to do. Dear narrator, I have another explanation that might make your job easier to figure out who wins. There is a famous saying, That's true. So shouldn't nice guys get to finish first?
With a final score of 3-1, I call the winner of this machloket Hillel. Mazel tov.
Thank you, thank you. Shammai, you are a worthy opponent. So now that we know how to make kiddush, can we move on with the Seder?
Hillel, I would love to eat some matzah with you. I look forward to our next machloket together. That's all for us from Machloket Central. Wishing everyone a happy Passover and see you next time, perhaps around Hanukkah, where we
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had an opportunity to learn from all of our students. Look at all of our fabulous students coming back in. We're going to get started in just another minute. I know some people might not have gotten to share everything that they had wanted to share. So my apologies. That's why we need to have 2 Seders. And that's why the rabbis, you have their Seder go all night long, right? Because there's just so much to do. But we're going to keep moving along because we're getting very close to the end of our Seder. And the end of our Seder means that we need to invite a special guest. So I'm going to bring that back up. Oh, here we go. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you first of all to show you the amazing Kos Eliyahu project that Kita Daled made. And I know that they came home yesterday and they are so beautifully wrapped and we can't wait to get to use them tonight. And now it's time to invite Eliyahu to come join us. We've done all the things that we need to do except maybe one. I wonder if there are any special guests around who might want to join us to help us out with that last piece of the Seder. Oh, look, somebody's here in my waiting room. Let's see. Let's admit them. Oh my goodness, it's Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to our Seder. Eliyahu, do you have a message for our KBA students? Eliyahu, you want to wave and give us you have to unmute and just give us a message. There you go. Do you want to tell us anything?
Hello, guys. How are you? How happy are you about KBA family? I want you to have a nice, happy, and healthy Passover.
Thank you so much, Eliyahu. We love getting to have you and getting to welcome you to our Seder every year. Eliyahu, here's a cup. You must be so thirsty from all your travels.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eliyahu.
Bye.
All right. So there's our Eliyahu. He's our superhero every single day, but we love getting to see him here on our Zoom as well. All right. We're going to now see our animated Haggadah section of Eliyahu Hanavi, which means we're getting pretty close to the end, everybody.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hashishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagilahi.
Yofi, and as we think about next
Lashana haba Yerushalayim, Lashana haba Yerushalayim, Lashana haba Yerushalayim, Lashana haba Yerushalayim Habnuya.
Thank you to our 6th graders for making the beautiful thing that they just did about the Shana Haba. I guess, Lev, you'll stay where you are, but I wanted to share with you that this is sort of a bittersweet moment. Usually we get to send off our 8th graders and say L'Shana Haba, not L'Shana Haba, but in a couple of weeks we'll send you off. But to show you that you're always in our hearts, and whether you're in Israel or whether you're here, Israel is always with you. So Lev, and for our 3 8th graders, we have a present for you to take home, your own Degel Yisrael, to remind you that Kol od balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homiyah. As long as within our hearts the Jewish soul sings, as long as forward to the east to Zion looks the eye, right? So even if you're not going to Israel right now, we know that you're going to get there and be there very soon. All right, everybody, we've made it to the end. You can put your masecha on, and in the traditional KBA fashion, I hope we're going to hear you screaming out the Echad Miodea parts. So here we go.
Wouldn't that be you?
Arba ima'ot shlosha avot shnei luchot habrit echad Eloheinu 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 shebashamayim u'ba'aretz.
So we've made it to the end of our Seder, everybody. Kol hakavod to all of our students, and thank you to our families for joining us. For our students, there's one final piece, if you remember, that afikomen. So in a minute, I'm going to ask our students to go find that afikomen so we can end the Seder. But before we do that, I'm going to ask if anybody would like to unmute and say a shout out, a goodbye, a lehitraot, and a chag sameach. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yashikoa.
Chag Sameach. Bye-bye.
Hi,
Thanks,
Tali.
everybody. Thank you for
Hi,
joining
Bye,
us.
Danae. Chag Sameach.
All right, team,
Chag
go, go, go.
Sameach.
Happy COVID.